Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. So happy Friday and welcome to Friday Office Hours. We're really excited you're here today. My name is Anna Shavers and I'm leading today's session for SAM. As many of you know, SAS released to the Researcher Workbench back in April, and today's Friday Office Hours will focus on using SAS in the Researcher Workbench. For this presentation, I have a few housekeeping items. We ask that you please hold any questions until the Q&A session at the end. You are more than welcome to drop your questions in the chat, though, as we go along, and we will make sure to answer those during the Q&A session. We're also going to be recording this session, and we'll post it to the User Support Hub and on our YouTube channel within about 1 to 2 weeks. So today we're joined by a SAS expert that was instrumental in helping all of us bring SAS to the Researcher Workbench, and it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Chris St. Jeor. Chris has extensive experience building supervised and unsupervised machine learning models to help businesses become data-driven and further enhance their decision-making processes. As part of the data science team at Zencos, Chris helps build state-of-the-art analytics solutions for industries ranging from banking to healthcare to online marketing. Chris has over 9 years of experience bringing analytic solutions to the workplace. His current professional interest is to use healthcare data to create preventative holistic health plans for high-risk patients. Chris has written several papers and blog posts combining his personal interests with his enthusiasm for machine learning and predictive modeling. He has also presented at several industry events, including SAS Global Forum and Analytics Experience. Chris holds a bachelor's degree in economics and a master of science in analytics from North Carolina State University. In addition, he holds numerous SAS certifications, including SAS Predictive Modeler and SAS Statistical Business Analyst. Prior to joining Zencos in 2017, Chris worked as an economist for the Idaho Department of Labor, where he was responsible for analyzing current economic trends and providing labor market forecasts for the state. We're so excited you're here, Chris. And with that, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Anna. It's great to be here with everyone, and apologies for how long that introduction was. I definitely should have cut that way down. But I'm excited to be here with you all today. And my understanding of this session is to give a very high-level overview of SAS on the platform and how you can use it on kind of your analysis, both as a brand new user as well as some more advanced programmers. So hoping to kind of cover all of that today. So we are going to, I am going to try to leave plenty of time for questions at the end. So if I kind of rush through things, please do take notes because I'd love to go back and go over whatever it is they had a question about. And this is going to be a live demo. So apologies in advance if anything goes slow. But let's go ahead and share my screen. Okay, great. All right, so when you log into the Researcher Workbench, this is kind of what it looks like. Hopefully everyone is plenty familiar with the Researcher Workbench. Whenever I collaborate with different groups, I always go to view the full listing of my workspaces. And today we're going to work in one that I named after myself. And just to kind of let you know how to access SAS on the Researcher Workbench, you're going to have this side panel over here. And there are a couple different ways to kick off a SAS session. You could either click on the Applications Cloud, and I already have mine running because it does take, it can take anywhere from 5 to like 15 minutes sometimes. So typically whenever I sit down and I'm going to start up a SAS session, I'll sit down, I'll click go, and then go grab my cup of coffee and then come back. But because it does take a few minutes. So you can either click on it here to kick off a session, or you can click down here in one of these little icons. This will always be here for you. And one thing to keep in mind as you begin a SAS session, when this opens up, it'll look a little bit different. Not everything will be grayed out because you won't have a session running currently. But when you log in here, you'll have some options here, and you're going to want to pay attention to this. You're going to want to click to automatically delete an application. I've set it up for 1 day. because you do use credits as the application is active. Not just when you're running data and processing data. It will continue to use credits as it sits idly. So if you're going to step away for like lunch or something like that, kind of up to you. You're not going to use too many credits at all. But if you forget to use this and leave it running for an entire weekend, you come back to an unpleasant surprise and you've lost a lot of credits. So do make sure that you set it up so that it turns itself off. It deletes the application. Your scripts and stuff like that will be there. There are instructions. I'm not going to get into this in this session of how to copy data over to your Google bucket or things like that, but we've built out tons of documentation that's available for you to be able to do that kind of processing. So all of that data will still be there if it deletes itself. So don't stress too much. You do want to make sure that you set this up. And then you'll just click Start Session, but I've already got mine going. So I'm going to click Open SAS, and then it will automatically sign you in. You don't need to type your credentials in or anything like that. It's linked to your Research or Workbench account. And so once you're signed into the Workbench, you can automatically sign into SAS. And then this is kind of this is the landing page for SAS. And so to start out today, I kind of wanted to give a tutorial of what the interface looks like, what all the different components are, because SAS has a number of different end user applications. And if you haven't used SAS Studio and you've been more of like an enterprise guide user or something like that, this might look a little bit different. So there are two main ribbons when navigating SAS. You've got this top ribbon and this left bar ribbon. So we'll go across the top here. If you click on New, you can start a new SAS session, open up a query builder, import data, open up a task, things like that. So just opening up different applications. Your options, you can set up a lot of your preferences and things like that. If you have certain hotkeys that you want to bring in, you can do that. You can change the view and different things. So there's a lot of options here to customize the solution to look exactly how you want it. There's also some view options, just viewing the solution. I actually don't use this too much. Then you've got an open. So this is kind of like a file explorer on your PC. So you can come here to navigate. I typically don't use this page much because there's another view that I'll show you in just a second that does give you more functionality. So if you're a new user, it can be a little bit frustrating because like right now, if I click on home, nothing happens. Like if I right click on it, nothing happens, but I'll show you in another page where you have more functionality. But just kind of wanted to show you that you can go to and open up your files directly from here. So if you just double click on a file, it automatically opens for you. And then you can save your files, right? Now on the left bar, there's quite a bit of functionality here. So this first icon here is just called Open Files. And this is just a way to be able to navigate any files that you have open up. Now, when you open files, you can click on them here. But if you've got a lot of different pieces of code going, you've got a really big project running, you can navigate right over here to be able to click through all of your files. Next is this is the alternative to the open bar. So you can see all of your files here, but this gives you some more functionality. So if you want to upload a file, you can actually upload a file from your PC directly into SAS right from here. You can right click. When in doubt in SAS, if you're trying to figure out how to do something and you can't find it, just right click on it, and that you'll most likely find additional options that you might not see in the workspace. So just kind of like a little hack is just right click on things. When in doubt, right click is what I tell new SAS users, because there is a lot of other functionality that's not directly on the UI as you see it right now. So this is the Explorer tab. And you can come through and navigate all of your files and things like that. Now, one note that I do want to make here is this environment is set up on Kubernetes. And in order to make sure you don't lose any of your work, the way the system is currently configured, you want to save everything under home, because if something goes wrong with your workspace, those files aren't going to be saved for you. You could end up losing work. I've actually, as we were testing things like that, I was coming into home and then creating subfolders, and I ended up losing work because of it. So make sure that you save everything under home. Like, don't right click and then create a new folder and save stuff under there. You're going to want to save it right here. So this is the Explorer. Then next we have tasks, and tasks are extremely handy for non-programmers. So if you use SAS, but you're not a strong coder in SAS, there are tons of options to use kind of a GUI interface. And I'll circle back to this and show you how to use it here in a minute. But you're going to, this is really, really handy. We'll come back here in a second. And then another option, if you're more of like a light coder, SAS has snippets. And so it's open SAS code, but you're able to, in snippets, you can come down here and instead of like a GUI, what SAS will do is it builds you a template of code, and then you can come in and you can update the code itself. So it will default to use demo data sets that SAS has available, and you can just change the data set. You can change all these different options to fit the data that you're working with. So it gives you more flexibility than what the tasks do. And so anyways, this is a really nice starting place as well if you're kind of getting, if you're a newish programmer, or if you're just, you do a lot of like SQL work but don't build a lot of visualizations. Don't underestimate the helpfulness of these snippets. You'll definitely want to come over here and explore a lot of the different options. And also one other thing to keep in mind as you're looking at these tasks and snippets, currently you guys will have access to everything that doesn't say SAS Via. Okay, there's additional functionality that SAS provides, but it's not currently supported under your at the way that the platform is currently deployed. So just keep in mind that anything that says SAS Via, you won't be able to execute. So just to try to help get ahead of any confusion there is make sure that you're sticking to anything that is I guess kind of think about it as like base SAS versus SAS Via. So anything that doesn't have that, you will be able to use today and moving forward. The next node is the library node. And again, I will circle back here because there's a lot of helpful functionality when exploring data and things like that. And then this is for Git. I actually don't know if Git has been configured, but there is SAS Via does offer Git integration, but just wanted to explain what this last icon was. We won't review it today though, but we will be reviewing the rest of these. So that's kind of a tutorial of the workspace itself. One other area that I wanted to show you is every time you launch, you're going to have this start page made available. And there's lots of great functionality here. So if this start page will link you to training materials. So if you're, again, a brand new programmer and you click on one of these things, it will link you out to a lot of great tutorials, videos, things like that you can come out and explore. So these are active hyperlinks with lots of great information. And then also joining the SAS community, lots of great information available on SAS community. So as you begin to explore the workspace, as you begin to explore SAS on the workspace or Workbench, definitely explore the start page. My kind of default is to ignore these things and just jump into analyzing my data, but there is a lot of great content here. And I'm actually going to use this page to kind of kickstart us. So I just actually discovered this. I don't know how long it's been here, but I've never used it just because, again, I've been programming for years and years now. So I kind of have ignored the start page. But today, when I was playing around in here, I just noticed this and did want to show it for new users. So I don't have data that where this will work, but I do want to show you how to use the query builder. So if you are coming into SAS and you're not a programmer, I would highly recommend starting right here, because SAS provides a really intuitive UI that allows you to build really complex SQL queries, and it actually will generate SQL code for you as you go. So if you upload your data, let's pretend like you've got data here in your work library, all of that data will be made available to you. But for right now, we're just going to use SAS help because I haven't loaded any data to do this. But sorry, let me come back. If you just click add and then double click on SAS help, that will expand the library. And then you could come through and grab whatever data set you want. So let's double click on cars. And now let's add one more table. And we'll do baseball because I like cars and baseball. And then you can click on this little drop down and then tell SAS which variables you want to bring over. So obviously this isn't going to work because there's not there aren't primary keys or foreign keys that are going to match between these data sets, but let's just add a couple columns and notice that it automatically starts creating SQL code for you. And it's already set up to be an inner join against the baseball table. So let's then collapse this one. Or yeah, collapse it and then expand baseball. And let's just grab a couple variables. It automatically starts creating it. But then up here, I'm in the select. So you can tell it if you want to do any summary statistics. So if you want to do a max, a min, count, whatever it is, you could do that right here within the select. So again, you could start aggregating your data right here without writing any sort of code whatsoever. You can also control the join. So if it will automatically do its best to guess which variables. So if you have two columns that are named the same, it would select those columns for you. But if that's not what you want it to do, you can come back here and tell it which variable you want to do the join on. And then if you click on this right here, you can also control the type of join. So it defaults to inner join, but you can do left, right, or full. If you're not familiar with SQL or doing joins like this, inner join is everything that's overlapping. Left is everything that exists in this table but doesn't pull anything that is in this table. It doesn't pull what's in this table that doesn't have a match over here. And then right is the inverse. And then you can also set up filtering criteria. You can provide a sort and then output options. So you can control where you output your table to and things like that. So again, super, super helpful for new users. Definitely recommend you exploring this as you start to explore SAS on the workspace or on the workbench, sorry. Don't save. So again, to get there, you can access it right from the start page. And then, or what you can do is I believe you can click on this as well. Yep. In new, just click on query and it opens up this query builder script for you. And then you can save it and then it'll be there for you the next time you log in if you want to recreate your joins. What was that? Okay, so sorry, let me look at my notes. Start. Okay, now you can also, I'm now going to kind of transition into some of the data management side, bringing data into SAS. So I'll show how to bring in data directly from your PC and then also show you how to connect to the larger data set in BigQuery. And so we'll show you some SQL pass-through code and kind of walk through some how to do it programmatically. But first, what I wanted to do is show you how to bring data directly in from your home PC. So If you right click on home, you can right click anywhere, but remember anything that you're bringing in, you're going to want to save under the home folder. So if you right click, you can upload files. And if you click on that, click on the plus sign, you can access your data directly from your PC, whatever machine you're working on. And so I'm going to bring in this CSV file and then click upload. And now I have my CSV file ready. And now if I want to import this into a SAS data set, you can do it programmatically, or you can right click on it. Again, when in doubt, right click, and then come to, what am I trying to do? Import, sorry, import data. And when you do that, you'll get another little import wizard, and it's going to give you some basic options. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to import to my work library, and then I want to name this, name it diabetes. And then I can just click on this little run icon, and it will automatically import my data and make it available to me in my work library. And there we are. Now, the work library gives you some great data exploration opportunities or abilities. So if I click this little drop down, I can see all of my variables alphabetically, and it will show the data type as well, whether it's numeric, character, or if it's a date value. So there are 3 types of date icons that will show up. Oh, what time is it? Okay, I'll try to speed things up a little bit. And so you can explore right here, and then you can also double click on the data set, and then it will open up for you, and then you can explore this. And this is, just so everyone knows, this is totally dummy data. I created this in Python, and so it's all fake, make-believe data. And you can filter, sort, do a whole bunch of stuff right here. If you're wanting to kind of explore some of your data, you can do it right here through the data viewer. Okay, so that's how you bring data in. Now that we've brought data in, I wanted to kind of highlight the tasks functionality. So let's visualize this data. So if we want to come in and we want to, let's say, create a scatter plot. If we double click on that, it's going to open up this little GUI. And then without having to write any code, I can create my visualization. So I'm going to select my diabetes data set. And I got there by clicking on this folder icon. And then I'm going to provide the axes and a group by. So click the plus sign, and let's do x-axis. Let's do weight. Why not? And then we'll do height. And then you can also select group by. Let's do, I think I have gender in, yep, there's gender. And then there are also additional roles that you can click on. But for right now, we're just going to leave it like this. And then notice that it automatically creates your SAS code for you. And so you can save this, and the SAS code will be saved for you in the future. But let's go ahead and click on this little run icon. And then it's going to create our scatter plot. And nope, it looks like a weird scatter plot. I guess our data isn't very conducive to a good scatter plot, but it will automatically create your scatter plot. And then you can right click on the image, and you can save it. You can create a copy, or you can just save it directly to your home folder and make that available to you the next time that you log in. So that's kind of that's a high level view and quick rundown of how to use SAS tasks. And then we also already kind of saw how to use the snippets. So definitely recommend exploring these 2 tabs. There's a lot of functionality that's right out of the box that will save you quite a bit of time, especially if you're a newer programmer. Or like me, you just forgot what proc to use for a specific chart, you can just use the snippets or tasks to get a skeleton for you. So that's how to read data directly in from your local machine. Now let's take a look at how to kind of manage data programmatically. And so we've got I've got a few examples here of how to connect to the All of Us data set. And so the way that you're going to do it is we've got a lot of documentation. So all of these sort of things are documented, but whenever you're going to connect to the data set, you're going to just want to copy these because the team has configured the environment with some workspace variables that make accessing the Google BigQuery really, really easy. So you'll just want to kind of copy this code and use it as your template, and then just kind of walk through quickly what a programmatic connection is going to look like. So you're going to start with proc SQL. We're going to use SQL pass-through because it is so much more efficient to pass the processing of the data over to the BigQuery server than to pull the entire data set down and then do all of your filtering. So best practice, you'll definitely want to be connecting to the data set with SQL pass-through. So you're going to start by connecting to BigQuery, and project is going to equal the Google project macro variable. And then schema is going to be this workspace directory. And then mode equals performance. This will make your code run quite a bit faster. We've tested it, and best practice, you'll want to include that on there. It reduces runtime quite a bit. Then you're going to provide a table name. So create my table. In this case, we named it survey. Select star because, again, you're just pulling over the final results. So you're saying pull everything over from my connection to BigQuery. Then inside parentheses, you're going to pass in just raw SQL code. Okay, so this is just raw SQL, not SAS SQL, just raw SQL. And then disconnect from BigQuery and then %quit. And this, so user error. I was holding down cap locks instead of shift. And then click run. And then also just a little side note, hotkey that's really helpful is F3. If you click F3, whoops. Oh shoot, I didn't run this stuff up above. Sorry, that's why it failed. Actually, this is a great opportunity to explore the log. When things fail and you're debugging, the log is extremely helpful. It's hyperlinked, so if you're getting errors, if you click on an error, it will take you directly to the place in the code that the error occurred. So SAS has a really handy log that allows you to explore what's happening when things break. And so you can go and see, and then you can copy these errors directly into Google, and it's going to give you a lot of good, helpful insight into what went wrong. So always pay attention to the SAS log. It's extremely helpful for debugging. So let's try that again. We're going to rerun this with the macro. You know what, we'll just run this whole thing. And so now it will execute successfully. And then there you go. So in just a few seconds, if we come back here to the log, it took all of 3 seconds to process millions and millions of records, because what we were doing is we were bumping up against several tables that have a lot of tons of data in here. And it took us all of 3 seconds to pull in our filtered results, because we did a bunch of joins and then we filtered down to what was, how many records did it pull through? Uh, 413,000. So yeah, that's it processes extremely quickly. And so when you do SQL pass through, that's going to help you be able to with this mode equals performance, you're able to process a lot of data extremely fast. So that's how you connect programmatically to the All of Us data set. And so now what I'd like to do is run through just really quickly some different functionality that SAS offers from a programming perspective. So I have a lot of different things going on here, and let's collapse all of these just to make it easier to see. So these little plus signs are really nice. SAS recognizes when you're starting a new procedure or like a SQL data step, or a SQL step, a proc step, or a simple data step. And so you can collapse all of those things to be able to view your code a lot better. And so we'll collapse it right here. So what I'm going to do is, just like up above, I'm going to pull in some additional data just to kind of give some examples of how to use SAS on the researcher workbench. So I'm going to pull in several different data sets. First, I pulled in survey data, then I'm pulling in Fitbit data, EHR data, PM data. So I'm pulling in quite a few different data sets. And again, I'm processing millions and millions and millions of records extremely quickly. And there we go, it's all done. Each one took just a few seconds. And now I just want to show some simple data wrangling. So let's say that I've pulled in 5 or 6 different tables and I want to join them all together. Well, if you're a SQL programmer, what you can do is you can just select, and then I'm saying select, I'm creating a new variable name called source. I'm doing that for each one of the tables that I'm concatenating, and then I'm naming it, and then I'm also pulling in the person ID, right? And so we can run this, and it creates a really long table with all of the people, and then it's a binary flag of which data source it came from. And then SAS doesn't support pivot tables the way that you would normally create a pivot table in SQL. You're going to use proc transpose, and it's pretty much the same thing, but I'm going to transpose my data set. So it's going from 3 columns, really, really, really long, and it's going to rotate it. So I've got each column, the base table is going to be person ID is the base column, and then I'm going to have the source flag as the variables, and then the additional columns are going to be these source things. So we can look here, and you can see all of my columns, and then it's got all of the binary flags. So it's just taking a second. And so that's how you can quickly transpose your data. It's been a little bit slow, but you can kind of see what it looks like. And so that's how you do some like pivot tables, transposing of data. This is how you can concatenate data. You can also do it in data step code if you're a data step programmer. But SQL is a little bit more intuitive, so I typically demonstrate proc SQL code when doing demos really quickly. Additionally, in SAS, you can call from another file. You can ask SAS to execute code in another file, and so I'm saying %include, and then I'm giving it a path out to this data set over here, this visualization data set. So if you run that from here, it will execute. It will come out and it will execute the data set or the code, the script that is over here. And so it will go through, and you can see that it's executing and pulling through a bunch of additional tables that I wanted it to pull through. So if you are the type of programmer that likes to segment your work, you've got your data, your ETL and data cleaning code, then you've got your visualization code, then you've got some like regression analysis code. If you want to manage it all from like a README file, this is how you kind of set it up. Just %include and then provide the file path. You don't need anything else on the source data or the source code itself. Like I can open this up. There's nothing over here that's indicating that it's going to be pulled from over here. It's literally just the exact same type of code, just pulling in different data. So if that's how you like to program, the percent include is what's going to let you do those additional calls and execute other files. And then to kind of close out, I wanted to just kind of show quickly some visualization examples. SAS supports some really, a lot of different types of visualizations, really powerful visualizations. You could customize them and tailor them exactly how you want them to look. So right now, I'm just doing a vertical bar chart, and proc sgplot, if you're a new programmer, that's probably the most versatile proc that SAS provides for visualizations. You can do tons of different visualizations with sgplot. You'll see it come up over and over as I go through the rest of this tutorial. But here's a simple bar chart. And so what I did was I labeled my y-axis, x-axis. I gave it my data set. And then after my axis commands, I tell it what type of chart I want. So V-bar for vertical bar chart, and I want it to plot race, and then the backslash, and then you can pass in options. And so I'm telling it that I want to order in descending order. And so you can see my bar chart in descending order. If you want to do a horizontal bar chart, the exact same code, just H bar instead of V bar, and you'll see it looks the exact same. And then if you want to do like a cluster bar chart or a group bar chart, you can do that as well. Like I said, there's tons of different options. So here I'm telling it, instead of doing a count, I want a vertical bar chart on race, and then I want it in a percentage, and then I want it grouped by gender. Don't give me any of my statistics, just a clean view, and then I want it to be a cluster bar chart. And so that's what my bar chart looks like. And so again, all of these were done with sgplot. There are some additional ones. There's a lot of different visualization procs, but if you want to do pie charts, those are also highly customizable using proc gchart. This is as standard as it comes, just clean out of the box. Literally the only thing is I'm telling it to create a pie chart by race. And so without providing any other code, I'm able to get a pie chart. It labels everything for me. I can see exactly how many people are in each bucket. I provided a title. So I told it I want my title to be green. I want it bolded. I told it the font size, height equals font size in proc or in SAS. And then I also want my title underlined. And then in the quotation marks is what SAS is going to write in the title. Now, one thing to remember is after you run a title statement, you're going to want to follow up with an empty title, because every single thing following this title statement that is executed, it will print the same title until it finds either a replacement title statement or an empty one. And so it's best practice to always throw an empty title statement after a chart. Now, if you want something a little more customized, I've got the same bar chart, except this time I've told it to go in ascending order, and I've told it to explode out the Asian slice. And so when you see that, so if you're wanting to highlight a specific demographic or something like that, you just tell it, hey, call out this one. So explode, and then whatever value you want. I chose Asian for this one. And then a much more customized one, you have options for your legends and as well. And so what I've done is I've given very specific instructions on what I want my legend to look like. I want it left middle, I want it offset, I want it in this order, and this is what it looks like. And then I know we're running up on time. I will just show a couple more because I want to leave plenty of time for questions. And so, oh shoot, I never ran this. Try that again. And there you go. So this was the chart that I was trying to build. So like I said, it's extremely customizable. You can change all the colors manually as well if you want. And then just a couple more here. I'm back to proc sgplot, again, super versatile. But if you want to create histograms, obviously histograms are heavily used when beginning any sort of analytics process. You want to see the distributions of your data. You can do it with sgplot, but you can also do it in proc univariate. And proc univariate is great because it gives you tons of summary statistics as well, right out of the box. So I did nothing here except tell it to give me a histogram of current age. And so it gives you the N count, the mean, standard deviation, variance, kurtosis, skewness, all really helpful statistics. You can also do t-tests with proc univariate. You get quartiles, a whole lot of really valuable information. And then also I was trying to create my histogram. Now you can also customize proc univariate. So here I'm doing, I'm grouping it by gender, and I'm creating an overlay of my histogram. And I told it no print, so it's going to suppress all of the summary statistics. So you can also use it exclusively for visualizations. But so I wanted to at least introduce proc univariate because this is one that's extremely helpful when doing any sort of statistical analysis. And then last one that I'll show is just, again, sgplot, but I'm going to do a time series plot. And so I just wanted to kind of highlight how versatile proc sgplot is. So as you begin doing your analyses, and you're wanting to create visualizations, I would definitely start with sgplot because it will carry you quite a ways. And so here I've got my time series chart, and then just a couple things to point out. With all of these, you can do subsetting as well. So if you've got a data set, you don't have to create a data set that is exactly how you need it for the chart. If, say, you want to get rid of a group, or if you want to set it to a specific time range or anything like that, you can throw where statements into these charts, and it will process the data first and then create the visualization for you. So you can kind of kill two birds with one stone. So sorry, I kind of flew through a lot, but hopefully this was helpful. And I will pause and hand it back over to Anna and I guess Q&As.